You're asleep on a bed of grass in southern Africa, 60,000 years ago. The fire has burned low. Behind your closed eyes, a leopard is dragging you into the dark. You feel the teeth close on your shoulder. You jerk awake, heart slamming. No leopard, only the night and the sound of your own breathing. You know this dream. Everyone does. So did ancient humans really have nightmares about the predators hunting them? And could those nightmares have kept them alive? Today you'd reach for your phone, check the time, tell yourself it wasn't real, and drift back under. For most of human history, there was no phone. There was only the dark, the cold, and the very real chance that the thing in the dream was also outside. Start with the fear itself. For most of the 200,000 years our species has existed, we were not the hunters at the top. We were meat, and the bones prove it. In 1924, the anatomist Raymond Dart was handed a small fossil skull from a limestone quarry at Taung in South Africa. It belonged to a child of Australopithecus africanus, one of our distant relatives, dead for over 2 million years. For decades, nobody could say what killed it. Then, in 2006, the paleoanthropologist Lee Berger at the University of the Witwatersrand looked closely at the eye sockets. He found puncture marks and ragged tears, nearly identical to the damage-crowned eagles leave when they rip the eyes from monkeys they've caught. The Taung child weighed perhaps 10 to 12 kilograms. A modern crowned eagle can carry off prey up to 30. Our small ancestor hadn't simply fallen or been mauled on the ground. It had been snatched out of the world from above, in a pair of talons. Sit with that for a second. Death didn't only stalk on 4 legs. It came from the sky. So what does a threat like that do to a brain over 100,000 generations? It leaves a mark you can still measure today. In a toddler. In 2008, the psychologists Vanessa Lobu and Judy Deloach, then at the University of Virginia, ran a beautifully simple test. They showed adults and 3-year-old children a grid of 9 photographs and asked them to find one target as fast as they could. When the odd image out was a snake hidden among flowers, everyone, grown adults and tiny children alike, spotted it faster than they found a flower hidden among snakes. Faster than frogs, faster than caterpillars. 3-year-olds, children who, in many cases, had never once seen a living snake. Everyone assumes we learn to fear snakes. A parent flinches, a sibling screams, and the lesson sticks for life. The truth runs closer to the opposite. The brain seems to arrive pre-tuned to find the shape of a predator in the grass before experience has taught it anything at all. The fear isn't installed later. Some of it is already there, and it goes deeper than quick eyes. In 2001, the psychologists Arne Oman and Susan Minecka pulled decades of this research together into one landmark paper in the journal Psychological Review. Their most striking evidence came from monkeys. Lab-raised rhesus monkeys that had never met a snake showed no fear of one at all, until they watched another monkey recoil in terror on video. After that, the fear locked in almost instantly. But here's the twist. When the researchers spliced the tapes so the same frightened monkey appeared to be reacting to a flower or a toy rabbit, the watching monkeys stayed perfectly calm. They learned to dread the snake in a single viewing. They flatly refused to learn the same dread of a flower. The brain, it turns out, isn't a blank slate waiting to be frightened of anything at all. It's a loaded one, primed to snap onto the exact shapes that once meant death, and to shrug off the ones that never did. Here's where the story slips from waking life into sleep. In 2000, the Finnish neuroscientist Antti Revonsuo published a hypothesis in the journal Behavioral and Brain Sciences that quietly reframed what a nightmare even is. He called it the threat simulation theory. The idea is unsettling in its simplicity. Dreaming isn't random static thrown off by a sleeping brain. It's a rehearsal. Night after night, The mind stages threatening scenarios, being chased, being cornered, being attacked, so the body can practice surviving them without the cost of actually dying. And the dream diaries back him up. In one analysis, Revan Suo and his colleague Katja Vali went through 592 dreams recorded by 52 ordinary people. 66% of them contained at least one clear threat. The most common threat of all wasn't losing your keys or missing a train. It was aggression, something or someone coming for you. Everyone assumes a nightmare is a glitch, a malfunction to be medicated into silence. Revan Suo's theory suggests the reverse. The nightmare isn't the bug, it's the feature. The oldest training simulator on Earth, running in the dark behind your eyes. But a theory is only worth as much as its test. If dreams really are a threat simulator, then people who face more real danger in daylight should dream more danger at night. So in 2005, Vali, Revan Suo, and their team went looking for children living under genuine threat. They compared traumatized Kurdish children from war-torn northern Iraq with children growing up in peaceful Finland. The results were stark. The Kurdish children who had witnessed the most violence didn't just report more dreams. Their dreams ran longer, averaging over 50 words each, against roughly 25 for the Finnish children, and they were crowded with more and more severe threats. Attackers, pursuits, mortal danger, over and over. The simulator, in other words, calibrates to the world it wakes up in. Feed a child real terror, and the sleeping brain runs more drills, at higher intensity. Give it safety, and the drills grow quiet. So put the pieces together. A predator that hunted us from the ground and from the air. A brain that arrives factory-loaded to spot it. And a dreaming mind that rehearses the escape, night after night, sharpening the response, long before the real thing ever comes. The nightmare, then, may not be a wound that fear leaves behind. It may be one of the reasons your ancestors survived long enough to become your ancestors at all. Every terrified dream of teeth in the dark was a practice run, and the ones who practiced hardest, who woke with hearts slamming and legs already moving, were more often the ones still breathing at dawn. Which brings you back to that bed of grass 60,000 years ago. The leopard in the dream. The jolt awake into the dark. You still have that dream. The leopard's been swapped out for a stranger in a hallway. A fall from a great height. A shape you somehow can't outrun. But the machinery underneath is ancient, and it is still running every single night, long after the last predator that ever hunted your bloodline went extinct. The teeth are gone. The dream they built is still yours, because you are the descendant of everyone who woke up in time. 2 million years ago, a child was carried into the sky in an eagle's talons. 60,000 years ago, one of your ancestors woke on a bed of grass, heart hammering, from a dream of teeth in the dark. That terror never left us. It just went quiet, and it still runs behind your eyes every single night. This video traces the strange, unbroken thread between the predators that once hunted humans and the nightmares that still visit you, and asks whether fear in sleep was never a flaw at all, but a survival tool your ancestors couldn't have lived without. In this video, we discuss the child killed from the sky, how a 2-million-year-old fossil skull revealed that our ancestors were hunted not just by big cats, but by giant eagles. The fear you were born with. Why 3-year-olds spot a hidden snake faster than a flower, before anyone ever taught them to be afraid. The monkeys that couldn't learn to fear a flower. How a classic experiment exposed a brain pre-wired to dread the shapes that once meant death. The nightmare as training simulator. The unsettling theory that dreaming evolved to rehearse escape from threats you'd never survive practicing awake. The dreams of children in a war zone. How the sleeping mind turns up the intensity of its threat drills when the waking world becomes dangerous. We beat the predators so completely that we forgot they ever hunted us. But the dream they built outlived them, and you are the descendant of everyone who woke up in time.